My name is Shannon Anderson. I'm an aquarist here at Fort Fisher working with our Asian small-clawed otters. So we have 4 adult otters here at the aquarium. We have 2 separate family groups, Asta and Ray, that are out on habitat for you all to enjoy, and then Quincy and Leia behind the scenes on what we're liking to call maternity leave. We are very happy to announce that we have 3 otter pups here, all females with names to hopefully be determined here in the next couple of months. But parents and pups are all doing very well. Our Asian small-clawed otters are part of a larger collective group through the AZA SSP program. The SSP stands for the Species Survival Plan. So we are an AZA Accredited facility, which means that we have pledged to hold the highest standards in education, husbandry, research, and most importantly, conservation. And being able to be an accredited facility allows us to work with other AZA accredited facilities to manage our populations of Asian small-clawed otters. Right now, we only have collectively around 170 individuals, and we were really fortunate to be only one of around 16 breeding pairs. So we are very happy to say that we are definitely contributing to this overall genetically diverse population here across all zoos and aquariums. So Quincy and Leia are our newest pair. We only just acquired them here back in October of 2021. Quincy came to us from the Greensboro Science Center and Leia came to us from the Kansas City Zoo. Genetically, they were a perfect match. We were really hopeful that they would get along. Asian small-clawed otters are always looking for companionship, just like they would in the wild, and the 2 hit it off absolutely amazingly. It was actually really sweet to see because Leia was very a quiet, kind of timid otter, just by nature and her age. She's only 3 years old. But Quincy, I think, really just brought that personality and just brought her out of her shell. So when we moved them to our current habitat right now, we were hopeful that we would have and see some breeding behavior since they hit it off. And we did almost immediately. So back in March, we started tracking and we were seeing good, successful copulation events. And they go through this whole thing for about 37 days. Gestation for Asian small-clawed otters is only 68 days. So you have almost a 30-day window because you don't know what day they were actually conceived. So we started to make sure that we had everything aligned for them with the possibility of birth in mid-May to early June. So we were very excited when we saw Leia exhibiting signs of going into labor on May 20th, which was a Friday. She started to be a little bit slow, wanting to nest the whole time, was kind of going on and off food. Honestly, a lot of things that you would typically see in any species potentially going into labor. So we immediately went into our protocols and she safely delivered 3 pups overnight. And when our staff showed up on Saturday morning, we heard some cute little vocalizations from the nest. Honestly, they sound a little bit like birds chirping, and we knew that she had some pups. Asian small-clawed otters they progress very slowly, unlike some other mammals that we're all kind of familiar with. So at birth, they're about the size of a domestic kitten. Their eyes don't open to at least 7 days or 17 days old. And then they actually aren't weaned until they're about 120 days old. So we don't expect our otters to be out on habitat until at least late summer, maybe even early fall. Just because for their safety, we want to make sure that they're mobile, that they can swim pretty well. So mom and dad have to teach them how to swim properly, and we'll do that with small little pools and holding. and also to eat and forage on their own as well. So today marks our otter pups. They are now 11 days old, and it was their first veterinary visit. So we had to move very efficiently, but make sure that we got good visuals and exams on them. We were in and out in about 5 minutes. The reason why we're doing that is because we want to keep the level of stress very low for mom and dad while they're away from the nest, and to just make sure that we are handling them quickly to then again bring them on back to the parents safely. So our goals today were to get some morphometrics. So we ended up getting some weights on our otter pups, and they are all gaining and are on the correct track for weights. Eyes are still closed, and we ended up listening to them, our vet team listened to them with a stethoscope to make sure that their hearts and lungs sound very good. And overall, they got a great bill of health. They were quickly returned back to the parents in a fresh, clean nest box that I think that they were very happy to have, and everything couldn't have gone any better. It was a nice, very smooth, easy vet visit today. So with your admissions to the aquarium today, a lot of those proceeds actually go to conservation out in the field. And we also have programs at our habitat every single day to get our community involved. Even though these species are not native to North America, they're native to Southeast Asia and Indonesia, there's a lot that we can do as consumers to protect them out in those wild spaces. Our big message to you today is to just be conscious of where you're purchasing your tea and your coffee. Make sure that it's sustainable and shade grown, because coffee plantations are part of the deforestation that's happening in their native habitat right now. And so that's what we can easily do as Americans to make sure that we're protecting this wonderful species.